AM 560. The Answer.
So much evidence, squirrel out there, but the evidence doesn't matter. If the evidence mattered, there would be no Democrats. Evidence doesn't matter. That's why the only answer, as I see it, is absolute and total secession from them. Really. Absolute and total. I mean, the unwillingness to admit not just failure, but just downright theft. This Tim Walz cartoon character. Him, Ileana Omar, Ellison, all the Democrats created these policies to be stolen.
I will add a special thank you and a special acknowledgement that we will never leave the side of our Somali Minnesotans.
God, Governor Stupid Face that you are. My word. You ever see a dumber looking son of a dog than him? Pat Quinn. Good call, Squirrel. He's a close second. By the way, Squirrel, let me know when it comes in the information on which scumbag, a domestic low-life, gang-banging, degenerate scumbag, or an imported one killed that beautiful girl in Glenbard South. Let me know. I'll put $10 on illegal alien scumbag. They're awful quiet with the coverage. Eduardo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sean. You know, like over there in L.A., they're charging $23,000 in homeowner fees for homes that haven't been rebuilt. These guys are crooks, like Karen Bass. Oh, she needs to be locked up.
Eduardo, did you see when the government bought the building? They got $40 million in the building. They had 20 people in there, all degenerate drug addicts. They're still just ringing the register.
Right.
They're stealing the money. I'll tell you what, that makes the guys in for COVID with Chicago look a little envious. Those guys, that was a good scam too, though. They didn't even build anything on the empty lot. They got millions, and that might be my favorite one ever. You didn't even have the balls to build anything. And by the way, fix the land, too. It's tainted. You got to love that shit. That's fantastic. Scott, Willowbrook.
Afternoon, evening, Sean. Listen, you know, just this morning you were talking on your recording this morning, your video you did about the No Kings and what the government was doing to us during COVID and telling us what to do and that sort of bit. But you also left out how they silenced people that wanted to talk about what was going on. If you tried talking about it online, they silenced.
Well, first of all, you know how that works, because I learned the hard way. It's got to be under 3 minutes, and I try to fit a couple things in. And plus, I'm walking. I got people yelling at me. There's a lot going on, Scott. You can't remember everything. All right, go ahead.
But here's my question, though. I mean, the thing I don't understand is, you know, you got Peter Strzok talking on the phone with Lisa Page, and she goes, "Is he going to get in?" And he's like, "If he does, don't worry, we have an insurance plan."
Oh,
why don't they have his butt? Why don't they have his butt in a court, you know, a Congress hearing one more time and have him explain what he was talking about when he said that?
I can answer you in only the way that you will understand. You're going to love this, because the they you speak of is them. What do you think about that, Rumsfeld? You like that?
Well, I know that they got people on both sides protecting it. You know what I'm saying?
The they is them. Verlon, real quick. How much time I got for Verlon? He's long-winded. All right, go ahead, Verlon.
Thank God you finally said it. After all these callers was talking about how do we do this, how do we do that, Jessica Jackson was running John's show Saturday talking about take us higher. Secession today, secession tomorrow, secession forever. Let it go, let it burn.
Absolutely. That's the only way. And if they didn't have this system where the federal government, not on money they have, but on money they can create, bails out these fiefdoms, they would have already been gone. You know, this is the argument you must always keep your eye on. The government created debt for no other reason than to pay off the scum and steal our money. That's the $30 trillion. The $30 trillion that was added since Obama, that money is money that was stolen in policy fronts and money laundering schemes. That's it. Where's the money? Hey, dummy, where's the money? And you knew what had to happen. They had to get there. They were getting nervous with Trump's first term. They were getting real nervous.
This is COVID, and we were under an emergency order. And the emergency order, which the legislature essentially cedes all of their power to the executive branch. And the executive branch, in the case of elections, is Brad Raffensperger, our Secretary of State. Well, he took that executive power and he invented election law. Mm-hmm. He put drop boxes everywhere. Mm-hmm. Drop boxes were nowhere envisioned in the statute in Georgia code. He sent 6.3 million absentee ballot request forms.
That's Greg Dolezal, who is now running for lieutenant governor. And he lived through it and could not believe his eyes as the 2020 election was stolen.
to every registered voter and put a first-class stamp on it. And the first-class stamp is significant because if you file a national change of address form, so if you move to Louisiana and you say, all right, post office, here's my national change of address form, forward all of my first-class mail to Louisiana. Well, we know that in Fulton County alone, 39,000 people had their mail forwarded to a different state or a different county. And Raffensperger sent all those people absentee ballot request forms, and tens of thousands of them voted. And in many cases, they voted illegally.
And that buffoon, that one moron, $9 trillion to the debt in 4 years. And I say 90% of it, 90 was stolen.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to